In today's video, we will be building this Revell kit. We will add some very small resin prints to the cockpit and turn it into this final result. Today's build is the Bell UH-1D search and rescue helicopter in 1:72 scale. Even though this kit is a 2010 release by Revell, according to the Skill Maze timeline, new molds of this kit were introduced in 1994 and afterwards only new parts were introduced, so don't expect any excellent or good quality from this kit. All across the board is just decent. Here, however, we have some nice resin printed 3D parts and more medical equipment to this model kit. The link to the curls file will be introduced below. We first start by hanging all the runners in the Netherbuilds runner holder, and a link for that is also down below. First off, we start the assembly of the cockpit by cutting out all the necessary parts and sanding the nut marks. The floor needs some holes drilled to fit other parts, and we glue those together with some cement. The seats consist of 3 parts total that once together form a detailless seat. We use some VMS CA to glue the resin parts together, and I'm pretty sure I forgot to scale this one part since it's incredibly small compared to the rest. The control sticks are glued in next, and as you can see here, the fitment issues start to arise. Once all the other sub-assemblies are put together, we can glue all the plastic and resin parts into the cockpit. I use some super glue debonder to remove the excess and clean up the result. Since the cockpit is so small, I prime it black with an airbrush and then proceed to hand paint all the other parts. The floor will receive a dark grey color and the seat cushioning will be white. All the white coverage in this cockpit is pretty bad, since the white over black is a bad idea to begin with unless you have Pro Acrylic Titanium White, which is a paint that I bought after this project was done, so it was no use here. A light bluish grey is used for most other frame parts on the inside of the helicopter. and some off black to accentuate the dashboard and control sticks. The fire extinguisher will be painted red, and for the medical equipment I'll be referencing these pictures as I did for most of the other colors on the inside of the head. Crate receives the same color as the floor, along with a slight dry brush of silver that I did off camera. And then some red and yellow color will be put on all the medical equipment wherever it needs it. Olivey green for the stretcher and the rear seats fabric. So silver accents and most of the cockpit is done. I'm pretty sure that even without the resin parts this cockpit would fit together terribly, but we will fill and sand most of these issues. We glue it together with cement and now we hold it together with some clips to really fuse most of the plastic together. Then with a sharp hobby blade and some sanding we remove most of the seam lines that are left after the plastic cement pushes out the excess plastic. Smaller detail parts are glued in place with Mr.hobby cement deluxe and a set of fine tweezers. After priming, most serious issues become more clear. Small gaps are filled with superglue and surface imperfections are sanded smooth with 1500 grit sanding sticks and sponges. Then with a metal file from Revell, we sand away most of the super glue, which afterwards is smoothed out with some sanding sponges as well. After another prime coat and calling the surface good enough, we move on to the fun part, which is black basing. This method you will have seen in most of my other videos, as it's a good way to create a subtle shading and weathering effect. After having put on the light green camo part, we move on to the dark green part. The camo is freehanded with my 0.2mm Procon boy, based on the inconsistent and unclear painting guides that come in the manual. The camo did not match up that well across perspectives, as well as an unclear differentiation between versions of the helicopter, so I did the best that I could and it turned out fine. The props and door are done off screen, and after we paint the inside of the doors matching to the interior of the cockpit, a gloss coat is applied. Now, I didn't show most of the decal process as I'm not that great with it, and neither was the quality of the decals itself. They were better than those from the F104 kits, but that's not a difficult task. They were, however, still pretty hard to conform to the surface, but I'm pretty sure I'm mostly to blame for that, since I don't work enough with decals to have the appropriate skill for them, but future projects will help me improve on that. Instead of using a decal for the window frames, I decided to match a color and hand paint them. Removing the masking tape from the windows was the easy part, but the poor fitting of the windows itself did not make this project any better. Some windows left some gaps, but there was no fitting or slotting for these windows, so they had to be held in place until the mod podge cured. And the mod podge also left some glue stains, which next time I'll probably just put in the windows before I paint the entire thing, so I can fix the surface. And then I'll just mask them off and paint them. All in all, the result is as decent as the kit is, but experimenting with resin parts for the more detail was definitely fun and the highlight of this entire project. I hope you enjoyed nevertheless, and I will see you guys in the next video, but for now, enjoy the pictures.